And they're just allowing mobs to take over cities. This is really hard to watch. There's a mob of black youth surrounding and attacking a white woman. Now, are you hearing about this on CNN? Because if this was the other way around, we all know what the situation would be today in the media.
That would be the only story for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep. Yeah. Check this out.
This is over the weekend in Chicago. Now, there were no deaths in Chicago that I've seen from this
particular mob.
From like the whole, I'm sorry, they call it a teen takeover. It's a teen takeover.
And they just beat this white woman for no apparent reason. Wow.
So, you could see it was still daylight.
Yeah.
And then the sun went down.
Yeah, it got worse.
Teen
after dark
takeover, they're calling it.
Look at this.
So this is just a montage of the lawlessness in Chicago. I think it was Saturday night. Is that when this was? And so fights and jumping on cars and beating up random people, gunshots as you can hear.
Yeah, a couple people were shot.
Yeah. And now the police are on the scene, yeah.
There's not enough police to deal with this, though.
No. Like, what do you do? I mean, this is the third worldification of America happening before our eyes in every urban center.
Because of social media, a lot of these mobs are really easy to put together, and they can just start attacking people or looting shops and convenience stores. Yep. That's why a lot of businesses are closing in the inner cities because they can't ensure the safety of their employees, or they can't keep their products on the shelves because people come in and steal everything. Wow.
And it just goes on and on. Yeah.
Look at
Like just fights in the middle of the street where cars are going by. What was the name of the game? Oh gosh, what's the name of the game where you Grand Theft Auto? That's literally all that these big cities are anymore.
Yeah,
the video game Grand Theft Auto.
And so those were shots from Chicago. Then there was something going on in Los Angeles where a mob got together and broke into a convenience store and just cleaned it out. There's probably, looked like over 100 of them.
Teen takeover again?
Uh-huh. Yep.
So it's just the teen takeover.
They just they put it together on social media real quick. Everybody showed up and they busted into a convenience store and just cleaned it out. Not one arrest was made. Not one arrest.
By the way, back to Chicago, that's where the Democrat convention is going to be held. So I couldn't think of a more perfect city for the Democrats to be hanging out in than Chicago, Illinois, for their big 2024 Democrat convention. Can I just read this quote here from the mayor-elect? When does he get sworn in, by the way? The guy in Chicago replacing Beetlejuice, Brandon Johnson. He said, this is his response to the teen takeover there. "It is not constructive to demonize youth who have otherwise been starved of opportunities in their communities. Our city must work together to create spaces for youth to gather safely and responsibly." So not in the street, I guess, swinging at each other. "Under adult guidance and supervision to ensure that every part of our city remains welcome for both residents and visitors." Chicago, you're screwed and you're not coming back. I'm sorry to tell you. Good luck. That sounds like you got another winner of a mayor on the way.
Sure does. There's a viral video going around of a delivery driver who shows up with food, and then a high-speed chase happens right where he shows up, and he steps in and helps out.
Oh no. In the yard.
That's a high-speed chase.
Yeah.
That's a high-speed chase.
Okay. Should have handed her the food, but now you got her food. Come back with her food.
Oh my God, Yeager! Oh my God, Yeager! There's a high-speed chase outside of land!
The delivery driver's like, don't hit my car, bro.
No.
So the pizza guy trips the criminal who's trying to run from the scene. That's awesome.
That was a.
It's great.
I love this.
It's fantastic.
Stick that leg out,
and here he comes. All right, and boom,
busted. That's all the cops needed to catch him.
That's great.
Over a third, I believe, of robberies in New York City are from the same 300 people that just accumulate. Like they just get booked, rebooked, let out, because that's the way Alvin Bragg wants it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the mayor called it the safest big city in America. Oh,
that's cute.
Okay, that's great.
That's good.
Matt Gaetz addressed the victims, the many victims of crime, and their families who told their story after heartbreaking one after another of loved ones that they've lost to crime in the city, and in many cases suffered the crime themselves.
We are here in New York is because you have Democrats, you have citizens calling for some relief from this pain, and we are here not to use anyone, but to uplift the voices of brave people who are here to tell their story. Ms. Brame, do you feel used in this hearing?
Gentleman's recognized.
Ms. Brame, do you feel used?
Not.
Ms. Harrison?
I'm a willing participant.
Ms. Harrison, do you feel used? Tell you what, let me ask you it this way. Do you feel more used by this committee hearing, or do you feel more used by a criminal justice system that allowed people to kill people that you love and care about with no consequence?
The latter, and I'm beyond grateful for the opportunity to testify here on behalf of victims, because the Democrat Party, including Mr. Nadler and everybody here today, has ignored us in this city, and we need federal oversight.
Yeah. And the reason Gaetz is saying it like that is because Democrat for Democrat, they attempted to make it seem like, oh, look, the
They're
Republicans.
showboating.
Yep, they just exactly. They're not being
and
genuine.
They're using these victims for their political agenda. Yeah, I can hear them now.
This was not a safe space for Democrats yesterday.
No, it doesn't sound like it. Madeline Bram, who lost her young Army vet son to violent crime in the city, was in attendance. And when Daniel Goldman was trying to minimize the event, she took offense.
Your experiences are devastating. But the problem is that this is a charade to cover up for an abuse of power, that they are going around talking incessantly outside of this hearing about Donald Trump. And the purpose of this hearing is to cover up for what they know to be an inappropriate investigation. Now, I look forward, many of you are
Can I
in New York
respond to
City.
you, please?
No, not right now, because I only have 20 seconds, I'm sorry. But I do want to
Don't insult my intelligence. You're not.
Hang on. The gentleman's time.
I'm not
Okay,
insulting
you're trying to insult me like I'm not aware of what's going on here.
Thank you.
Okay?
Time belongs
I'm
to
fully aware of what's going on here.
Gentleman will suspend. Gentleman gets another 15 seconds.
Thank you.
That's why I walked away from the plantation of the Democratic Party.
Good.
Committee
will be in order.
Ms. Brame, what I was about to say is that as a representative of this city, I look forward to working with you, with
do
Ms.
you?
Harrison, Mr.
Sure you do. Sure he does. Of course he does. He can't wait to work with her, I'm sure.
It was okay. You remember when they went down to the border? They took their committee hearing down there, and no Democrats showed up.
Yeah,
right.
And the Democrats just stood back in D.C. and said they were grandstanding.
I just wonder. Part of me wonders if they thought that, hey, this committee meeting is in our backyard, New York City. We'll go up there. It did not, as the clips will demonstrate, did not go well for Democrats yesterday at this hearing.
They're in New York City.
Get a rope.
And Democrats are not being treated well here at this event. Why? Because people are sick and tired of crime. And they're sick and tired of Democrats not doing anything about it. In fact, doing the opposite. And that's letting criminals get back on the street and commit crime again. They were talking about one of these guys who had done something like this, been arrested 40 times?
Yeah.
How many times before you're finally just put in there and not let out again?
Do they not have jails
I know.
I mean, a way to handle this.
You would think so. It is New York City. They've had crime there before.
I mean, this is a George Soros DA, Alvin Bragg, getting his way.
So here's Jerry Nadler experiencing the fun of being laughed at and mocked.
In Lower Manhattan for one reason and one reason only. The chairman is doing the bidding of Donald Trump. Committee Republicans designed this hearing to intimidate and deter the duly elected district attorney of Manhattan from doing the work his constituents elected him to do. They have demanded access to the inner workings of an ongoing criminal case.
Amazing. Pretty amazing to try to blame this event on Donald Trump. That stuff's getting pretty old, and I think people are just sick of it.
Yeah.
But it continued for Nadler as he continued to babble.
Power. It is, to use the chairman's favorite term, a weaponization of the House Judiciary Committee. I do not know if Mr. Trump will be found guilty. I do not know.
Gentlemen, suspend. The gallery should, for commenting, and let the gentleman from New York finish his statement.
No, Jim.
No, they really shouldn't. Because we know
we need this.
Jeez.
I mean, honestly, though, just we're at the point where you just have to laugh and mock. I've lost all respect for these higher offices. Respect the office, respect the procedure. We're at the point where they deserve to be openly mocked and ridiculed, and I appreciated the crowd in attendance
mocking and ridiculing.
Yes.
Hank Johnson spoke too, and he also heard from the audience.
But they're on wait.
Like Jack
is this Manhattan? This is an island.
Yeah,
they've descended on New York City using violent crime.
Could it tip over
as their
and
pretext.
Capsize?
The MAGA Republican extremists are not interested in gun
MAGA
violence
Republican extremists.
or even knife violence. Republican witnesses who have used their time to criticize District Attorney Bragg have served as props in a MAGA Broadway production. The real purpose in coming to New York City.
Can we have order?
Hey. The real purpose in coming to New York City.
Gentlemen, will suspend.
No, Jim Jordan. No. We this is cathartic, actually. I enjoyed this a lot. They may think twice about these little field trips, the way this thing went yesterday.
What, the Democrats? Because the Republicans are probably they're gonna do more of these.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jim Jordan's like, no, you got to suspend here because he's talking. It's like, nah.
He's feigning, no bias.
Right.
Okay. Same thing happened to Adam Schiff, though. All these guys just mocked, ridiculed, laughed at. Here's more.
It is the GOP leadership in Congress doing what it has done best for the last 6 years, and that is to act as the criminal defense counsel for Donald J.
Shut
Trump.
up, liar.
Well, let me tell you this.
Capitol Police, gentlemen will suspend. Capitol Police. Capitol Police will remove the gentleman from the audience.
Let me tell you this.
Gentlemen.
Let me tell you this.
People are pissed.
Let me tell you this.
Tell us, Adam. Douchebag.
Donald J. Trump.
Gentlemen will suspend. So we got order.
Thank you for being here.
Gentlemen will suspend. The audience has to be in order. Capitol Police.
Well, I mean, they must have known this was going to happen.
Sir.
Anyway, and this goes on and on. Look, disrupting where you can't even communicate is one thing, but I didn't mind the laughing, and the you got to be kidding me, but you can't disrupt it. But I was surprised. So Capitol Hill Police get dragged up there to this whole thing?
I guess so.
That's interesting.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, there we go. It was a fun day yesterday. And again, Democrats think this is just a distraction from what Alvin Bragg is trying to do to Donald Trump. But in reality,
stupid.
Your city sucks, and somebody needs to talk about it.